Good morning, beloved of God. This is Prophet West coming to you this morning on this. What day is this? Thursday morning. I hope all is well. There's a message that is in my spirit. There's a word that's in my spirit that I want to see can I release this morning, and it's been in my spirit for a while, and I just want to teach on it, and I want to make you aware of what's going on and what's been going on since the beginning of creation of man, concerning man and the adversary, concerning the adversary's purpose and plan to remove the man, to remove the voice in the house, to remove the priest, to remove the one that God had gave the charge to and God had gave the authority to. The Bible says that the enemy cannot come into a strong man's house unless he first bind the strong man, and then he's able to spoil the goods. My question, in my study, and I've noticed that in the beginning of time, when God had created Adam and Eve, and God gave him a charge whatsoever to be fruitful, multiply. Before that, when God had created man and woman, and gave him a charge and told him to eat of all the trees except the tree in the middle, the tree of good and evil. But for some reason, there came a time when the serpent approached Eve and told her, "Can you not eat from all the trees of the field?" And that place right there. Well, now the serpent knew that she couldn't eat, they couldn't eat, but yet and still he came to the woman. And my question was, or the thing that I noticed in that particular incident, where was Adam? Why was he silent? If he would have opened his mouth, it wouldn't have happened. But we know, based on the Bible, we know that, it had to happen. But where was Adam? He was silent. And because of his silence, he lost the garden. He lost the promise. He lost his house. And he had to be punished. Now, also, we're going to go over into I think it's Samuel. And at the time, Eli was the priest of the house of Israel. And he had two sons, Elias and Hophni. And his two sons, they were evil. They done evil. And instead of doing what they defiled the temple of God, they were taking the sacrifices, and they were taking the meat. They were selling the meat. They were having intercourse and having been intimate with the women. They were doing everything that God wasn't supposed to do. And Eli knew that, and he was silent. And as a result of him being silent, him and his house was lost. But God raised up a prophet. God raised up a boy who spoke up. Once he recognized, and he used Eli because Eli perceived that God was talking to him, and he used Eli to push him forward to stay there where he could hear the voice of God. And once he said, "Here I am," and God gave him instructions, and those instructions were to Eli, and Eli fell over and died. His sons died because he didn't correct them, because he didn't tell them they were wrong, because he wasn't silent. You look at this day and time, and throughout history, from the time of Moses, Jesus, even now, has been a hit on the men. When Moses was born, there was a hit that he should be killed. Jesus, King Herod, there was a hit. He wanted to get him, but he couldn't get him. In this day and time, you find that in the homes, most brothers, there's a lot of brothers and people, particularly in the African American community, that the brothers are become fatherless fathers, because either daddy was there, but he was emasculated. He didn't have a voice. He didn't say much. He didn't say nothing at all. Or mom and daddy went together, and daddy never spent time with the son. And because of that, the son grew up without a dad. And he had mama there, but he grew up taking on the characteristics of mama, taking on the characteristics of a woman. instead of taking on the characteristics of what was supposed to be his example, a man, his father. And as a result, there's a lot of stuff he had to figure out on his own. And the thing about growing up is that we all going to grow up. You know, a child will grow up. But the question is, how did they grow up? Did they grow up with the right, proper teachings, the right, proper ethics, and being taught a certain way? Or did they just grow up just figuring it out along the way? And a lot of kids, a lot of young adults now are grown and they've figured it out on their own. And now a lot of them even have resentment in many cases for their father because the father wasn't there, which is rightfully so in many cases, you know, because the father should have been there. In some cases, maybe the father couldn't be there, whatever reason that was, to an extent that they were there every day. Maybe the child was in another country, or there could have been any kind of circumstances where the dad couldn't be there like he should have. But yet and still he wasn't there. And still, it still don't take away that feeling of him not being there, that emptiness. Because there's a sound that fathers give their kids. The Bible says that a father is the glory of their children. That means he's their value, their weighty merit, their standard. And if that standard isn't there, then what does the kids have to look for? You take the daughters, the father is usually the one that when she grow up and want to marry, she want to find someone that's like daddy. But if dad is not there, that sound is not there, she don't know what that sound is. She don't know what that standard is. So she's looking. She's going in and out of relationship, trying to find that sound that daddy forsook to give her because he was silent in her life. In like manner with the sons. Sons grow up angry, upset at the world, don't know why. Oftentimes because daddy wasn't there. And oftentimes those sons will even abuse their wives because they don't know how to treat a woman. Oftentimes kids learn how to treat each other or how to treat people based on how mom and daddy treat each other. That's another thing. See, because the thing that you must understand, if a kid is raised up in a divided environment, oftentimes they're going to raise up in division. They're going to raise up uncertain about certain things because they're raised up in that thing. Because, from a child, they learn. They learn a certain type of behavior based on how mom and daddy was. So there's an attack against the fathers because the fathers have been silent. And the time has come in this day and time that the God has made a charge for men to stop becoming silent and find your voice. Start speaking, because in your voice there's life. In your voice you can change the course of many things. You can kill many things by opening up your mouth. Brothers, fathers, stop being silent and open up your mouth and speak as a priest, that the enemy can't come in and destroy your inheritance and destroy your goods. God bless you.